Have you ever felt like you were spinning your wheels, working so hard, but still felt stuck? Like no matter what you do, something is missing and you couldn't pinpoint what was missing? That's exactly where I was until one moment changed everything. Welcome to Theater Purpose, a coffee shop diary. It was August 24th, 2024, and I had just finished watching a podcast. The girl on the podcast shared how she asked God for a title for what she does, and he gave it to her. I remember sitting there thinking, wow, what if I asked God to do the same thing? So I immediately went into prayer. I asked God, what is the title for what I do? And clear as day, y'all, he said creative management, everything under the creative umbrella. I was completely in shock, and that's when it hit me. I've been doing my business all wrong. I was boxing myself in, and I was trying to mimic what I saw other people doing instead of leaning into what God had purposely for me. My mindset shifted instantly, and I went from thinking I'm just designing for these brands to I want to do more than just make a brand pretty. I want to grow it effectively. And that's when I got to work. I started reading books, sharpening my skills, and learning as much as I could. But what most importantly changed was I prayed that God would do my business with me, not as I saw fit, but as He saw fit. So while I'm in the background building the business that God had put in my heart, creative management, I started to use apps like Notion, which I've already used before, but really putting down all the ideas that God had given me. I know that it is a marathon and it is not a race, so I learned that I did not have to immediately put this huge business out because God gave me the idea right then and there. It means that He's perfecting and crafting me to put out exactly what He's called me to do. Now, this is not saying do not be disobedient when God gives you a word. If He tells you to do it exactly when He gives it to you, please do it. But in my case, I knew He wanted to make sure that I did it the right way. I did not want to be disobedient to God's will. Rebuilding my business wasn't easy. It felt like stepping into a class I had no prior knowledge of, but I was so eager to learn. And I was so eager to unlearn everything that I thought I knew and let God lead the way. When God gave me the title Creative Management, it was like everything that I've been doing finally made sense. Every role or title that I put on myself, social media manager, content creator, graphic designer, brand manager, creative director, it was all connected and none of it was wasted. I realized that it doesn't happen overnight. God has to mold and shape you and prepare you for what's next. He took His time with me, and I'm so grateful for that. This journey has been about building a business. This journey has been more about building a business. It's about trusting God, being patient, and embracing His timing. He showed me that success isn't about rushing to the finish line. It's about letting Him guide you through the process. Through the redefining process of my business, I also learned my worth. God showed me my worth. Before, I was so scared to charge how much I was worth because I was scared that nobody would book me. But God showed me that it's not about the price. Like, the people will come. It's not about how low your prices are if people are going to come. No, set your bar high and know your worth. He had me go through a season where it's like, girl, you cannot get clients if you are going to charge them low. You have to set your bar high because people are willing to pay. So one thing I always say is remember your worth. As you're going through your redefining process, remember your worth because God knows your worth and you are worth more than what you are trying to put on it. And knowing your worth does not mean be greedy and just super overcharge people. No, knowing your worth is setting the price, setting the standard. And this is another thing that you can take into prayer and ask God, God, show me how much I'm worth. And truly, He will show you. Now you're probably wondering, okay, Danny, now how do I do this? Well, you may be in a rut in what God is calling you to do, and you're in a point where you don't understand why He's having you do certain things. Not everything is making sense. But here's what I want to leave you with. Go to God in prayer and remember what it says in Jeremiah 29 verses 11. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." So I want you to ask God, what is the name and the title or role you are calling me to? And how do you want me to prepare for this? I also want you to ask, I receive this, teach me how to steward this. Teach me how to be a good steward over this so that I can do your will. and release your own plan and your own vision. Surrender it all to God and ask Him to show you His plan and vision, and then watch everything start to fall in place. Trust me, it will not happen overnight. But when you trust Him and you take one step at a time, He will guide you to exactly where you need to be. And after you've prayed your prayer, you might ask yourself, how do I know this is God telling me this and this is not just me and my subconscious? Because God will never give you a word that you can ever think of or you can imagine, and it won't even feel like you. You'll feel like the Holy Spirit. So make sure that you invite the Holy Spirit in and really just hone in and ask God what He wants you to do. He may speak to you in a vision, He may speak to you in a dream, or somebody else may tell you, but God knows how to speak to you and how to get to you. As He did for Samuel and as He did for Elijah, He made sure He found the way to speak to them, which they would understand and they would hear Him. And God will do the same exact thing for you. So don't be scared and like, how do I know if it's God? Like, how do I know if He's telling me to do this? Because everything will align. It will seem so effortlessly. It will seem so simple. It will seem so easy because it is from God. He will make sure everything works together for your good. Yes, you're going to have hardship. Yes, it's going to be a long time. Yes, not everything is going to be together, but He will make sure it will be seamless. He'll make sure He'll connect you to the right people. He'll make sure that people will see your brand, but you also have to put the work in, because faith without works is dead. So if God gives you the vision, or if He gives you the purpose, He gives you the plan, He gives you the title, you also have to go put the work in. Go do the research. What do you have to do in order to get there? And combat that with prayer, combat that with research, and let God do the rest, girl. This is our season. This is our time, because we're stepping out from fear and we're into purpose. Remember, it's okay to feel stuck. It's okay to feel like you don't know what's going to happen next. But this is the time to lean in and trust God and know that He is going to do the thing that He said He will do. So I just want to say thank you for joining me today. Remember, stepping into your purpose isn't about perfection. It's about progression. It's about falling in love with the journey. That what you are doing now is not being wasted. That everything that God is doing is calculated, and you are doing everything according to His will and to His power, and everything is going to work together for His good. So don't doubt yourself today, because God will do the thing. So if you take anything away from this, remember that it's okay to take a step back. Reimagine your vision and let God define what success looks like for you. Because when you partner with Him, it's no longer about what you can do. It's about what He can do through you.